He's like a big wide receiver. Big, lanky, strong, and fast. Really fast. Again, his joy for the game cannot be overstated. With all of the success he's had, he still has that joy. That's where I draw the parallels with Cal Ripken Jr. It's not a physical comparison. It's what I perceive to be a pure joy for the game and the competition. From a distance, I always thought that was Cal's greatest asset. He loved to play, and he loved to compete. I believe Shohei is the same way. Shohei also reminds me of Cal in his competitive nature. Shohei doesn't want to lose. He is always competing, and I think that is what drove Cal. Shohei is the same. We have a little bumper pool table near his locker, and sometimes when I'm leaving the ballpark an hour after the game, he's still there playing. That's Shohei, always competing and having fun doing it. Prologue. 3 years after the Babe Ruth of Japan made his debut in the major leagues, the baseball world was focused on Angel Stadium on April 4, 2021, to see if he had finally returned. Shohei Ohtani had come from Japan to join the Los Angeles Angels for the 2018 season, and he amazed fans and fellow players with his ability to hit and pitch at a high level, something no major leaguer had done since Ruth, 100 years earlier. At that point, Ohtani was just 23 years old and seemed to be destined for greatness. Unfortunately, a fantastic 10-week start to his career would be followed by 2 surgeries and a series of on-field disappointments, leaving serious doubts in the minds of even his most fervent supporters that he would ever meet that potential. When the ESPN Sunday Night Baseball crew put the Angels and Chicago White Sox on the sport's ultimate regular season stage for its first broadcast of 2021, announcers Matt Vasgersian and Alex Rodriguez spent the segment leading into the first pitch talking about Ohtani. "We're in store for a good one," Vasgersian said. "It's the Shohei show." Ohtani, now 26, was the Angels' starting pitcher and number 2 in their batting order. Although the Angels would not manipulate their lineup to accommodate ESPN, at least they wouldn't admit to it, the network's executives were no doubt thrilled that manager Joe Maddon had scheduled Ohtani's first start of the season for their broadcast. That Ohtani was going to hit and pitch in the same game for the first time in his big league career made the game even more enticing to the network and its viewers. Expectations are always sky high whenever Ohtani participates on one side of the scorecard, let alone on both in the same night, Vasgersian said. This was the start of the 49th season in which the American League used the designated hitter. A pitcher hitting in an AL game was rare. In fact, a starting pitcher had been in the lineup only 6 previous times in nearly a half-century of games with the DH. One of those was a mistake. In 2009, Maddon, then managing the Tampa Bay Rays, handed umpires an incorrect lineup card with 2 third basemen and no DH, so pitcher Andy Sonnenstein had to hit for himself. San Francisco Giants right-hander Madison Bumgarner, widely considered the best hitting pitcher of his generation, got to hit in a 2016 interleague game as the Giants passed on using the DH at Oakland. Otherwise, you have to go back to 1976, when left-hander Ken Brett pitched and hit in 2 games for the Kansas City Royals. Texas Rangers right-hander Ferguson Jenkins in 1974, and Oakland A's left-hander Ken Holtzman in 1975, also started 1 AL game apiece hitting for themselves. Ohtani's presence in the Angels lineup was clearly not an accident or a one-off, though. Ohtani was batting right in front of superstar Mike Trout because Maddon believed that his starting pitcher was also one of his best hitters. That, of course, was exactly how Shohei Ohtani had been billed when he came from Japan in December 2017. Stories of his exploits across the globe had reached mythic levels, with tales of 100-mile-per-hour fastballs and home runs that soared into the farthest reaches of ballparks. By then, everyone had seen